Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter with Kathy and Lorraine for Ask a Crafter. We got our jar full of questions and we are ready to roll. Lorraine, what do we have this week first for a question?
Hey, Julie Lowry. What does a person getting started in watercolor art journaling need to know? The necessities. And also, she wants to know about getting started with oil pastels. Whoa.
Okay. Well, for oil pastels, I think you can use the same paper that you're going to use for your watercolor art journal with the oil pastels. You might want to invest in some colored paper as well because oil pastels are opaque and they just look fantastic on colored paper. If you're going to do watercolor journaling, you can use any watercolor tablet. I would recommend a spiral bound tablet just because your pages aren't going to fall out or get ripped out as easily, and it'll stay flat when you're working on it. But I'm also going to mention again the Canson XL Mixed Media Pad. I use my watercolors on it a lot, and I use inks on it and stencils and spray inks, and I really like the way it works. And even if it does curl up when I'm working on it, which it usually doesn't, if I dry it with my heat gun and then I flip it over and dry the back of the page, it flattens back out again. So I would recommend that for just getting started. As far as watercolors, getting like Prang makes a really inexpensive set of student watercolors. I think it's like $3 at Staples or Walmart or any of those department stores. And the colors are very vibrant. They're really nice. So Prang, it's like a black package with usually like rainbowy, designs on it and stuff. But that would get you started really well. Maybe a waterproof pen, like a Micron pen. I got my journal and pens at Oriental Trading, and they probably have the Prang paints too, and they usually have pretty good prices. So you can check them out, or check out your local department store and see what you can find. But that would be my pick.
And a brush, paint brush?
Oh yeah, maybe even like a water brush. The
Yeah,
Prang kit
yes.
comes with a paintbrush. I know that.
Oh, it does?
Yes,
Okay.
it does. But a water brush would be handy if you want to keep it portable. Don't go crazy because, you can tuck that in a bag and take it with you. Don't make it too complicated. Just stick to the basics.
Okay, let's see here. Beverly Gray. I have Christmas stockings that I made from Bucilla kits you find at Michael's and Joann's. They are felt and starting to look dingy in the white parts. Any suggestions on how to clean them?
All right, you guys do more fabric than I do. What would you suggest for cleaning any sort of like work on fabric? Like I would think it would be about the same as cleaning like a cross stitch or.
Well, I'm wondering if it's done like the kits and there's like sequins and everything glued on it.
Oh yeah.
The Bucilla, is that
like
more
crewel?
that kind of?
Is that like crewel embroidery? The Bucilla.
Yeah, is that?
So that's, I don't know, because a lot of that's wool.
Do you think you could use like a woolite on it?
Probably.
In cold water, or hand wash it cold water with
The ultimate
woolite?
issue with wool is not really the washing, but the drying, and also
Right, and the
working
agitating.
it.
You don't want to agitate.
So if you can just put it, but you'd have to know that. I mean, you'd have to double check to see what the ingredients are, and if there's any glue, then that's apt to break down. If it's just stitch, then yeah, I think woolite baby shampoo, just dipped in the sink and a little bit of work to get the.
And then like to dry it, put it between white towels and press it.
And, check it, press it, and keep it laid out. Don't squeeze it, don't twist it, don't dry it.
Maybe do it on one that is not your favorite. If you have a sample, maybe you didn't finish or you didn't really care for that much, try it on that first. But I mean, we cleaned a cross stitch up that had a lot of smoke damage on it. It was in somebody's house that smoked, and we were able to get it pretty clean. I think we used the woolite and then pressed it between towels. Yep. So that would be our advice. If anybody has any tips that does Bucilla, was that the name of it?
I think so.
Bucilla kits, please leave it below and we can check, and she can check that out too, because it's not something I'm very knowledgeable in. Cleaning, I'm not very knowledgeable in that.
Melody Flurry says, so glad to see the crafty ninjas back again. I like it. Have you ever thought of doing a video of the three of you working on scrapbooks? Yeah,
that'd be entertaining.
Take a step back forward and 3 steps back.
I'd be a lot of us drinking coffee and talking, probably.
Talking mostly.
Take out food, get some Chinese food.
Kind of a demo thing, or maybe working on Halloween or Christmas crafts.
Well, I was thinking about doing a live show.
Right.
What do you guys think about that? I'm thinking about that.
I would love it.
Yeah.
As much as I dislike really being on camera, I just think it would be fun. I just think it would be really neat to connect with people immediately and get to work and do stuff that we like and talk about it.
Oh yeah. I think it'd be fun. I don't know how
We'll do
entertaining
it.
it would be, though.
You type. Yeah, really, I don't know.
This is
What do
me
you
pushing
think?
an embellishment around for 20 minutes.
We need some,
Whee!
we need some feedback on that.
Yeah, I think we need some feedback.
Yeah.
And this is how I get distracted and start flipping through a pad of paper to pick just the right one. This is me drinking coffee and staring into space for a while.
Looking at magazines, craft magazines.
This is how I read a magazine.
Let's see, Fatima. It's good to see you all three together again. Looking forward to the return of Ask a Crafter. I've been working with hot glue in my art journal recently. I added it on top of a mostly finished page as an embellishment. I'm worried it will melt and make a huge mess as I continue to work in my journal, since I often dry pages with a heat tool. Any ideas how to seal over the hot glue so it won't make a mess? Thanks so much.
If you get it hot enough, it's gonna melt no matter what you do to it. I use a hot glue gun in my journal, and I do often dry pages with the heat gun. But what I do, so if I've got my journal and I've got some pages of some like maybe yarn or fibers or something hot glued in it, and I'm working on a page and I'm gonna dry with the heat tool, I tend to hold my page up when I dry it, so I'm like getting both sides so it doesn't buckle. I mean, if I'm heating it from the front, I'm holding it at a distance. You could either switch to a hair dryer for drying your pages, or just kind of hold it up and just dry that one page you're working on that doesn't have hot glue on it. But I mean, you definitely don't want to heat it up that much, or it's just gonna remelt. But then again, you also do have to kind of be aiming it right on that hot glue, kind of on purpose. To melt it. So as long as you're careful to just dry that page you're working on, and not, I mean, if you have hot glue on the back side of the page you're working on, then don't risk it. But I think you could be careful and just get that one page you're trying to dry. I wouldn't worry about it. I'm not going to not use my hot glue gun because I use my heat tool to dry things. I'm just going to be, aware that I have some pages with hot glue on them.
Yep. Rasm Arglue says, I have squeezed some watercolor paint into my palette, but it takes weeks to dry. How can I make this process a little faster?
Weeks? Wow.
Weeks is a long time.
Huh. Well, you know what? You may have paints like I do, like the M. Graham paints, which stay semi-moist. I go ahead and use them. Just, it's probably just, it has some more honey or glycerin in it to keep them moister, and that's actually a mark of a good quality paint. So I would go ahead and use them. They're probably not going to dry completely hard. Like, if your paint dries like within 2 days and is all cracked looking, then that's a cheaper paint. You probably want to add a little glycerin or honey to that. But if your paints are staying semi-moist, that's probably the kind of paint they are. I mean, I've had that palette going for 15 years. So, and you were just saying the paints looked wet in it. This one,
I thought they were wet.
this one right here, yeah, they'll stay semi-moist, and they're absolutely fine to keep using. It's just the different type of paints that there are. So don't worry about that. Just paint. Don't worry. What's the next question? We're good. It's just some brands just dry out harder than others. Don't wait on it too long. I'd wait a week maybe and then start using it.
Okay, so Rachel York says, have been considering starting a craft weblog, and I'd really appreciate any advice. I love reading Lindsay's, and especially her YouTube videos. Stay-at-home mom, so it's highlight of my day. My reason for having a blog is I'd like to share ideas with other crafters and Christians.
Well, I've been asked this question again. I'm actually going to take this. I am working, it may be already up by the time this show goes to air, working on an episode just on doing a blog. It's going to be part of my art marketing series. So go to my channel, look for that. It should be up by the time this video goes to air. I'm going to put that right on my clipboard so I don't forget about it.
Okay, Joey M. Review says, excited for the season premiere of Ask a Crafter. Do you have a favorite brand of stretched, pre-packaged canvas? I have heard some canvases may be too cheap and have their stretcher bars warp over time. Thanks.
I haven't really run into that problem, but a really good affordable one that I've used is Creative Mark, and it's available through Jerry's Artorama. I'm not sure if it's available at Blick, but I bought it from Jerry's. And let me just see. I have one here. This is Creative Mark Edge. And what I like about this, it's the little symbol is a handprint. I think it might only be available at Jerry's Artorama. Is if you look, the sides are finished, so if you don't want to frame it, you have finished edges, and it's held in the back by a spline. And I've used this up to 16 by 20 in size, and I buy it usually in the multiple pack, so it's like you get like 6 canvases for one price. It's usually, it's not much. I can't remember. I can't quote the price right off my head, but it's a lot less than Frederick's, and I find it to be a very comparable quality. I might not be as particular. I'm more particular on paper than I am canvases, but I would get that. It's Creative Mark Edge. You can see the mark on the stretcher bars. Stretcher bars seem to be quite durable. I think it's because it's not like they're not finger jointed in. They're actually, it looks like they're glued and stapled for this one, but I haven't had any problem with that. Frederick's, of course, makes a beautiful canvas, but they're going to be more expensive. So there's my pick. I really like this because it's stretched all the way to the back and I don't have to frame it. So there is my pick.
We got time for more questions?
Oh, sure, we do. We're only at 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
It just seems like we've been talking for 20 minutes.
Carol Moore, I'm looking forward to Ask the Crafter. I would like some info on using Costic Wax with a hot iron. I received a kit for Christmas and wanted to know how to use it.
Okay, I have not done much encaustic work. I would recommend checking out R&F Encaustics, the letter R and the letter F Encaustics, and they're a huge, probably the biggest supplier of encaustic supplies. Look them up online and see what you can find for tutorials. I think Blick has some tutorials on encaustic wax.
What is it?
It is, it's usually you work on a heated surface, so you might have like a homemade deal where you've taken like a piece of tin, tin, anything metal, it would be like over a burner or over a bunch of tea lights or something, so you have a nice hot surface, and then you put your paper on top, and
like a hot plate?
You can use
like the old electric skillet?
Yeah, you can use an electric
Okay.
skillet. So when you put your surface down, it might be a gessoed hardboard or it might be paper, and then you'd work with encaustic wax blocks, or you might have a heated palette like muffin tins with all your melted wax in it. And I mean, you could use crayons. It wouldn't be as pigmented as encaustic wax. And you know, you'd paint with like brushes that were meant for only wax because they're going to be trashed for anything else afterwards. And it's just basically painting with hot wax.
So then you paint with the crayon and it melts and glides as you go, or use it
Yep.
as a
And you can use
liquid
like hot tools, like hot irons to spread it around.
imprint and texturize it. Oh wow, that's kinda
It's kind of neat. I haven't really done much of it. I
neat.
did.
It's
I
fun
would.
to play with.
I saw a demo at a gallery once with a wax artist. It was really neat to watch. I'm not a crazy fan about the way it looks, but I think it's a really cool process and technique. And R&F Encaustics would, I think, be where I'd recommend checking out, see if they have some interesting tutorials.
Great. The Craft Cuckoo. I do have a question either from you guys or from anyone in the UK who might know. I have recently heard about art and craft boxes that get delivered monthly in the US and in the UK.
Okay, so there's like Art Snacks as a brand. They're like basically like your monthly kit club.
Yeah.
But they have art supplies. I've never used any of these because I have so many supplies. I think it'd be great for somebody just getting into it. I'm not really familiar in the United Kingdom what they have. If anybody over there in Europe, because I think you can buy, if you're in Europe, I think you can buy from all the different countries that are in the European Union. So if anybody knows, anybody that is living in Great Britain that uses any of these services, can recommend any where maybe the postage isn't going to kill you,
Right.
can you please leave a comment below so she can check that out and hopefully find some good leads there? That would be awesome, because I mean, especially if you have experience ordering these and you know that's a good company and you get your money's worth in a box of stuff, because that's the thing, you don't want to join a club and pay $20 a month and only get $5 worth of supplies, because it's a grab bag as it is. You want to make sure you're going to get what you want.
Okay, Danielle Tierney Traiter says she wants to create digital scrapbooks for my kids and can't seem to figure out the best way to do so. I'd love something that actually looks like a scrapbook with pages that can be turned. I'd also must be able to add and move pages as well as insert journaling. I haven't used PowerPoint in ages, but as I write this, I'm thinking maybe that this would be the solution. I want to use software that will be long-lived as well as easily available. Anyway, I read lots of stuff about creating a digital page, but when it comes to sharing a scrapbook, journal, portfolio, etc., I want to share it digitally, not just necessarily send it to a printer. Thank you.
All right, I had to put my thinking cap on this because I am not a big believer in technology lasting. So I print everything. I print my photos as soon as like somebody shares photos with me on Facebook of my kids, and I download them right away and I print them within the month so that I have them for my scrapbook. So that kind of concerns me. I would definitely have a hard copy. But when she's talked about having something that she could share that could be flipped through like a book but digital, I was starting to think of like maybe and there's probably an app that will do this, but there's a website called issue.com, ISSU.com, I believe, and they host magazines. And so like Paper Crafts are on there. There's all kinds of magazines you know of, and probably some independent ones you've probably never heard of, and you can subscribe to these or buy the magazines, or a lot of them are free and you can flip through them. So I'm wondering if maybe you could, but then again, you are dependent on their service staying around, but you could make files. I don't know what kind of file they take, probably a PDF, and you could upload it there and share it with all of your friends that way. Maybe give them a code so that, you know, every Tom, Dick, and Harry can't look at your, you know, family scrapbook, but, you know, that way they could look at it. But I'm not sure about downloading it. I think I would be tempted to maybe like make a DVD. Like I would make a video file, I think, if that's what you want to do, or maybe save it on a DVD as a video file and as a something sort of printable, because it's just, I am just not comfortable with the digital, storing things digitally only. You could do like inexpensive books through Shutterfly and, you know, Snapfish, and there's always codes to get free ones, so you just pay shipping. Yeah, I think I'd put all my home movie clips on a DVD, and give everybody a copy of that, and then do photo books or do like a digital scrapbook. Just do a PDF file or something you can burn on a CD and do it that way. I'm not comfortable. I'm afraid that we're going to lose, the Facebook might go away, that all this stuff might go away, and then we're stuck with no record.
They make movies about it all the time.
Yeah.
When you know.
Print your photos, people!
Yeah.
That's the first place they're going to hit, is the technology and computers and servers and everything. And
well, you asked somebody, what would you grab if your house was on fire?
Right.
What would you grab? You grab your albums.
Your photos, yeah.
You grab your after your kids and your pets are safe, your chickens.
It's true.
You grab your photos. You know, so
it's true.
yeah, and it's so nice. The kids, yesterday the girls had the scrapbooks off the shelf and they were flipping through them,
touching them.
Yeah,
it's nice to see.
Yeah, and I could tell because they put half of them in upside down, and probably the next time I take them out, my pages are gonna fall. The things, but yeah. But, you know, to answer a question, I think that I would save it as a PDF. I think you can put links within a PDF, so maybe you could have the video file stored on that same CD later. I'm not technical, but I think I would do a PDF of the scrapbook pages, and then I would do video files, or maybe make the whole thing as a video slideshow and save it as an MPEG or MP4 or something.
And certainly, if anybody else out there already has a program and they've been able to do a digital scrapbook in the setup that she wants with turning pages and knows about different programs or software, then certainly
please
let us know.
Yeah, because I'm not technological. I'm a paper and glue gal, and so if somebody has a tip, please. We have time for one more question. What do we have, Lorraine?
Okay, Tina Colfer says, Copic paper is dang pricey. What other brands of paper are a decent quality, moderately priced, and equivalent to Copic paper?
Okay, I will tell you my top two favorites. My probably number one, well, I like them equally, actually. Neenah Classic Crest, and it comes in a variety of colors, but I like Solar White. They also make Cryogen White, which has a little bit of a shimmer to it. It's excellent for blending. It's like you can't not blend your markers on this paper. It is so good. It's beautiful paper. I really like that, and you can buy it in a ream of 250 sheets, and I think that goes for about $40, but it is 250 sheets, and you're not, you know, when you make a card, you're like cutting, you're going to stamp it and you're going to cut off that piece. I'm really stingy with it too, so a ream lasts me years and years. My other pick would be, and if actually, I do want to give you a tip. If you go to, I think it's 7 Kids College Fund, they have a good price. You can buy it like 50 sheets at a time, I think, and it's not for about the same price as you would pay by the ream. There's probably other sites out there too if you want to leave a link, if you know of a really great place to buy it, but I do know that I've heard really good things about that store. I haven't shopped there myself, but I've heard some really nice things about them. The other would be Paper Tray Ink Stamper Select in white. That is an excellent paper, and you can also use it with colored pencils and your Copics. That's all the time we have. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Until next time, happy crafting.